is. In fact, he came up after I left and started fixing all the line breaks for the water and everything. So in fact, he came up after a couple of weeks when I left and started fixing all the air and line breaks for the water and everything. So in fact, he came up after a couple of weeks when I left and started fixing all the air. Hey, line breaks for the water and everything. So in fact, he came up after a couple of weeks when I left and started fixing all
I didn't hear back from
in fact, he came up after
I hadn't checked my emails from
I didn't hear back from
I hadn't checked my emails from
I didn't hear back
I hadn't checked my emails from
I didn't hear back
Usually there's beer and ice in one of these things.
That'd be nice.
Usually that's what's in one of those. No.
Maybe next time you'll remember.
Yeah, all right.
They have water. That's about the best.
Okay. It is 3 o'clock and we have a quorum. See, is Mike here? I don't see him. But let's see, let's just go around the table, quick introductions, see who's here. Lieutenant Fedora, Chair of the Aesthetics Committee.
Jessica Morris, Assistant Director of Transportation for the city.
Nathan Moneyham, Division Construction Engineer, Division 13.
Ashley Hare, Transportation Department Director for the city. Lynn Riker, Committee Member.
Tom Beasy, NCDOT, Asheville Construction.
Mark Biggerstaff, Assistant Division Construction Engineer, Division 13.
David Dixon, citizen. I live a couple hundred feet off the I-26 bridge over Patton, so I'm right there.
Ken Lark's committee member.
Okay. Let's see, we have, looks like we have Greg Hall and Nicole and Olivia and
Wes Partner.
Wes, yeah. Works in PME.
okay.
Oh yeah, Lucy just joined.
Okay, so we have the consent agenda, it's of June 26th, and today's agenda, July 16th. Any changes to either of those documents?
Couple of clarifications.
Yeah.
It really is clarification. The header under unfinished business says final decision on form liner options, but there wasn't a final decision last week, right? So that misled me.
Right. Well, it sort of was. It was the final decision, which in how we were going to proceed.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be confusing. It's
Yeah.
just final decision and there was no form. And then there was an open issue on the fence spec. It seems like it's 4 feet and not chicken wire, not chain link, but I don't know if it would ever got clarified what actually will be put in.
Yeah, I think what's commonly known as goat fencing. is what the committee has always recommended and NCDOT has agreed to.
It's our standard woven wire fence. It's wood posts, pulled wire, 4-inch squares.
So it's a regular galvanized wire mesh with 4-inch squares, not diagonal. Okay, thank you. You know, I don't know what goat fencing is. Thank you.
I don't know, that's the term that I've always heard people use.
There was a little bit of confusion on the agreement to extend the 14 feet to the west side of the I-26 bridge over Patton. Recommended approval for the 277. And it just, is there a conflict with a couple sentences before where there was a discussion that the 14-foot wide doesn't meet spec, but we're going to extend it anyway. I don't think it matters much to me, but.
Right. That was, yeah. I think, I don't know, hopefully it was clear that Mike Sewell was recommending something greater than that.
Yes.
And further enhancement. And he called forth the National Association of
CTO.
City and County Transportation,
NECTO.
their standards, and that's what was being referred to.
So it got shot down. It'll be 18
Yeah,
18 feet
Yeah, right,
all the way along to the west side of the bridge.
Right.
No problem.
exactly.
I was a little confused trying to read it.
Okay.
Just a small conflict with earlier. There was a note that grades will change along the approach to Patton. 3 weeks ago, Patton was just going to be resurfaced. So I don't know if that makes any difference or not. There was a
Right, I think, what that's referring to is the existing grade changes.
Mhm.
Right, yeah, And, maybe inserting the word existing there would clarify that.
Yes, the grading is likely to change along the approach of Patton to the Bowen Bridge, which means you're doing more than just resurfacing Patton.
Ah.
That's the
Hmm.
point. Because 2 weeks ago, it was like, oh, we're going to just resurface Patton. We're not going to change it.
Right,
And
yeah,
this says you're going to change things. So I don't know if it seems like it was confusing. Because if you're going to regrade, if you're going to change
Right.
the grade of the elevations of Patton as you approach the Bowen Bridge, you've got the opportunity to change viewscapes and do some things. But if
Mhm.
you're just going to resurface, you're stuck with what's there.
right,
So I don't know which it is.
I think if there are grade changes, it would be minimal. And I think that's what the team was alluding to, is that there's some variation in the profile. Currently, we're not talking about large numbers, 6 inches
Mhm.
here or there.
Mhm.
That will be evened out into a smoother profile. But nothing approaching the Bowen Bridge will change much from its current
Change
elevation,
much.
because the Bowen Bridge is not changing.
It's probably worth a clarification because it says grading is likely to change.
minimally, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
they word
Not
minimally.
likely to change, not very much though, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then another, just a slight conflict, this is Ken again. Basically the idea of a streetscape improvements as you're traveling east towards the Bowen Bridge. One place it says starts at Regent Park, the other place it says starts east of the I-26 bridge over Patton. So I don't know if that's a conflict or not. It was just two different discussions going on. Beginning at Regent Park would be on the other side of the bridge. So, and then later it says east of the bridge. Into the approach from the new bridge, which means from the new bridge to Bowen Bridge. So I don't know which it is, if it matters much for folks.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I don't have that from you. Let me just go.
Yeah, it just it's this is the word from the new bridge implies to the
Yes,
east of the
right,
bridge,
okay,
right?
right, yeah,
Whereas this one,
yes, right.
Regent's Park is another couple hundred feet.
Getting it right now, yeah, what my intent was that the point I was trying to make is that there's an opportunity starting at the Regent Park
Mhm.
entrance from there all the way into
Mhm.
the Bowen Bridge
Yeah.
to create a new, or to the new bridge
Mhm.
crossing over to create, actually start the experience back at the
Mhm.
Regent Park. That's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then this last sentence will clarify it. It's only from the east of the bridge.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from the
so
new,
that-
from the new bridge, not from Regent Park. from
Yes,
the
right.
bridge. So I don't know if it matters or if we need to clarify anything or not.
Yes, right, for the approach from the new bridge.
Maybe we should be.
Yeah, I think what I was talking about was basically from what I set up here was the beginning of,
Mhm.
from Regent Park, from the Regent Park approach to the new bridge. That's all.
I mean,
Yeah.
any streetscape you do coming east towards the Bowen Bridge is a fabulous idea. I don't care where you
Yeah.
start, depends on how much money you have, right?
Okay,
And I think I was looking at that photograph, that image that we had up there.
Yeah,
rendering.
right.
Yeah, all right.
And I don't know if it matters, but July 21st, if we want to, it would change to July 16th, just to keep the minutes clean.
Okay.
Because today's July 16th.
right.
I don't know
It
if
was
some minutes
July
it was back
21st
when this
was
was
what
published,
was
yeah.
discussed at the meeting, and
Okay.
it subsequently changed to July 16th. So,
Okay.
yep.
I don't.
Okay, so with the addition of the word minimally to the minutes, do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second,
Minimally is the grade change, is that the one?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Okay, and calling the roll, Lynn,
Yes.
Ken,
yes.
myself is yes, and I think we still don't have Mike. Okay. So consent agenda is approved. Opening the public comment section. Any further comments by members of the public?
Me again?
Yeah.
Just a loose end from previous.
Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
preparing for the meeting. The issue on the bus stops, the comment was the design committee has not been able to establish contact with Art. But is anything gonna happen on that one?
The city manages art, so we can coordinate that once we're in design.
Okay, of course, the issue is, if the sidewalk in front of a shelter and the shelter is to the interior of the MUP, then we need to change the MUP, which is a significant deal with easements and grading and et cetera.
There's workarounds for that on the design side, so we can deal with those as they come up.
Like shortening the MUP as a workaround, it probably won't be acceptable.
No, there's rules that allow for pedestrian traffic to move across MUPs where there are bus stops.
So 20 feet away from the curb, you're gonna have a bus shelter on the other side of the MUP. And they're gonna walk all the way across the MUP. And their stuff in the shelter is
Where
gonna
is it 20 feet
spill.
away from the
Well,
curb?
the MUP is 14 feet and it's not always against the curb. So if you
Right.
put the shelter on the outside of the MUP,
But
they create a heck of a conflict.
not necessarily. There's traffic control measures for the MUP and other types of treatments that we can do to make that pedestrian movement a priority from the bus stop to the bus.
Okay, so everybody's okay with MUP travelers passing in front of shelters?
Yes,
That was a question. Is everybody?
it functions as a sidewalk. So there are ways when we design shared use paths, multi-use paths, bikeways, those kinds of things, when they are at grade with a bus stop, there are traffic control measures for that MUP that we can implement that give priority to the pedestrians. So that the
Crossing over.
trail users have to yield to pedestrians crossing
So
at that point.
it's more of a pedestrian crosswalk in the middle of the MUP that the
Correct.
bikers would stop with the
Correct.
flashing yellow thing. you know,
No, there would just be yield markings typically.
just shield markings. Okay. There's no way to bring the bus shelters interior of the MUP, so the MUP is unhindered.
It would depend on the location. I mean, we can adjust the design of the alignment of the MUP
Right.
when it gets to those points, but it would be a case by case basis.
Right.
So,
And my point is it better be done soon, because at some point it's going to be quite difficult to move the MUP.
well, that we are working as a city with DOT on the design of these facilities. So
Is that conversation worth putting in the minutes? at all or not?
Oh, yeah, it
Because it
will,
was a loose end from here, from the
Yeah.
earlier minute.
well, it will get in this minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. No, I don't want you.
Yeah.
Getting there. And there was, I was in this one and I got confused. We're gonna do a memorial. It's gonna go to the city or memorandum or whatever. It's gonna, the city's gonna approve it. There was discussion about memorializing it, whatever that means. But it doesn't really control the NCDOT in any way. What the work product of this aesthetics committee report, just like the previous aesthetics committee document didn't really lock in any way. It wasn't a construction document.
It did actually.
Every time I look something up, it's not in the design, so that's why I was confused.
I mean, everything that was memorialized from the efforts of the committee prior to procurement is a contract requirement. There are other suggestions that were made that were not, but those things that are memorialized.
That was what I was trying to get at. The aesthetics committee report from 2023, the one that we've seen here, that you guys did such a fabulous job on. That was a bid document?
No, the pieces of that the design build team is responsible for
Okay.
is included. What, I don't know if there's a specific thing that you're looking for that you feel like is missing. We can-
No, I just had the experience for weeks of finding something in that gorgeous document and then looking for it on the plans or any documents from RKK, and it just isn't there. So maybe the answer is it's a city expense and it's part of
There
some
are a
other
good
job,
portion of
right?
those.
Yeah, that's, and it's hard to figure out. what
Well,
is
and we
what
sent
isn't.
out, we distributed the municipal agreement and
the document that actually was given, material provided to our three teams.
Okay.
Which is not
So
the-
some subset of that document
Correct.
was a bid document. Okay, I got a little lost in how it went from your report to some other document that was an actual construction document, bid document. And I haven't had a chance to follow that through.
That was distributed, I believe.
Yeah, I saw the
to
email
everybody.
coming in. I didn't, because that was one of the questions. Where is this agreement? And you guys provided it. Thank you.
Yes,
That's
we sent
wonderful.
it.
Okay.
And with respect to these recommendations that we're
Yeah.
making now, there are two documents that are relevant. One is the resolution that we're going to hopefully pass this meeting. And that resolution has been coordinated with the what's the term now? With the aesthetics package addendum
Mhm.
that NCDOT has produced. And that, if my understanding is correct, will become part of the construction requirements.
Ah. A change order.
Along with, yes,
That's what those are called.
we call them supplemental agreements, but
I see.
in addition to that, there'll be a revision to the municipal agreement,
Okay.
which that is something that we will work out with the city staff after all this is concluded.
Sure. Okay. That was all good.
I did have two small questions. The MUP, I know the width was talked about 14 feet, 18, or what was it? Different widths. Was that actually memorialized also and finalized? with
It
the
is
suggestions? Okay,
memorialized at 18 feet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's great. Cool. Then one other one was the monuments. I know there was talk about sculptures and monuments going in the median of Patton Avenue in the area of the overpass, but now with the overpass coming in, I know that was mentioned, I think, by Mike a few meetings ago, but I don't think that was really ever looked at again. Is that something worth pursuing, or is there a way to put numbers or ideas to that?
Yeah, that was changing the location of those was not pursued. I don't know.
That's what I remember before. You
Yeah.
talked about it, but we didn't change the.
Yeah,
location of it.
yeah. I think the location's going to remain. I think the location is logical. It's it's the approach to the bridge. A bit of background is that the north span of the bridge, it comes under the jurisdiction of the state.
State Historic Preservation.
State, yeah, historic preservation. We cannot make any changes on the bridge without their approval, which we received for the recommendation. We did not receive approval for those monuments, and so those monuments are not on the bridge. Yeah,
Makes sense.
but I don't think we want to draw them too far away from the bridge because they are integral to the design of the Bowen Bridge.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Okay. Any status changes from NCDOT? The report?
None since the last meeting.
Okay, okay. So we'll go on to unfinished business. The last meeting, we discussed the form liner options. We agreed to pursue custom form liner design with a backup of the Gardens Chevron 2 and I guess a tertiary backup of the Arizona Santan pattern. Lynn has been diligently working to, we contacted four formliner companies that have responded and said they could do a custom. They're US formliner, spec formliner, which is the one that produces the Gardens Chevron 2, Fitzgerald formliner and Scott system. And Lynn has been doing graphics to send to them and going back and forth with David Moray on, getting it right. You want to add anything?
Well, no, it's just that in the previous discussions, we just knew the 42 inches basically, but we didn't know how that actually is going to work with the bridge bed and the fact that the bridge bed isn't exactly even all the time and it has some curvature. And so there has to be a bottom band of at least 4 inches and a top band of at least 4 inches, which would be included in the 42 inches. So we're left with basically with 34 inches of design element. I'm gonna send it to you to see if you could layer it onto that bridge elevation, and maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
We can put it up on the screen now if you want. I can
Yeah,
send
we
the
did.
PDF over, and so everybody
If you
can
wanna
see what it
email it.
looks like.
You want the
Wanna
most
email it to
recent,
me?
Lynn?
Yeah, if you can do that, that'd be great.
And then look.
Oh.
You got it?
The one that was sent to David.
Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
2 mornings ago, maybe.
And I followed up, I hadn't got a response either, just to check, to see if he had.
Well, he's
And I-
not here,
I was
so-
following the chain and yeah, we're going back and forth.
Yeah. It's just really hard to know, what this is actually gonna look like on the bridge till we put it on the bridge, and stand back and look at it, but, and so this is the chevron, obviously. And I can't remember if we showed a previous sketch to this group or not. Maybe.
What we showed was what was at the top of the monuments.
Yep.
That
That's all
pattern.
you've seen.
Right,
So this
yeah,
is
uh-huh.
the interpretation. My concern is that we are only working with 34 inches and from a distance. That doesn't seem like a whole lot to me, and to make the chevron work proportionately, it is relatively short strands, whatever you want to call those, the extruded part of it. So I don't know if it's how it's going to look, but it's kind of comparable to some of the off-the-shelf ones. In fact, the strands are a little bit wider than some of the off-the-shelf ones. It would, the face of each strand, we call this something else, but I can't remember, is 2 inches wide. And then it tapers back over the 1.5 inches we're allowed as that reveal. So
Are the lines like sorry, I'm not a landscape architect. Are the lines bumped out or is that all?
they're bumped
in?
out. They're extruded. So, the design element is extruded and it would taper slightly back into the base field, where it emerges from. So you won't really see that taper to speak of. It's not going to be a huge, angle there. It'd probably be maybe 20% angle of that to taper back. And I've never worked with form liners. So I think it's really going to be up to the manufacturer to take our sketch and say if this could work and how it would best work and what we might need to tweak on it to make it work better. Other than that, that's about all I think we meet the specs that David provided. But other than that, I think it's up to the vendors to.
And I can check on those because I'm not as confident in his 4-inch requirement top and bottom. I saw the chain and didn't know
Yeah.
until you just said it that may be an issue in your eyes. So I can check on.
Well, if
Get some
you,
more information on that. If you want more
Height, there's some-
height for the actual pattern, I can look into that because it may be specific to this type of design or something, but we certainly do our standard rock form
All
liners
the way to the bottom.
all the way to the bottom.
really, well, that's because I think the rock isn't a definite
It's not a straight,
design.
yeah.
Like this.
it can
I
vary.
think we definitely need a top band, but in my first iteration of this, I let the bridge bed be the bottom of it. Thinking, well, that provides, plenty of a frame for it. You've got the top 4-inch band and then you've got the bridge bed. And that's where David came back and said, no, we can't do that because it's not exactly, the bridge bed is not totally even, but it might have some curvatures in
It's
it.
definitely got some camber in it, so it's not
Okay.
straight.
Okay,
We'll do this number almost imperceptible until you
Yeah.
put a line on it like that where you.
yeah.
run off it.
So that's, I think, why he said the 4 inches and,
Yeah, that makes sense. I think his advice is good. I think he's trying to help it look as good as it can because, like I said, you're not dealing with perfect straight lines on that bridge, even though at first glance it looks like they are. So I think that's to allow some room. Because honestly, the height of that barrier also could follow that camber a little bit, but that gives them some wiggle room at the bottom so that they can make a nice straight even line with the bottom of your pattern. And it be separated some from that bridge deck. But you're right, the edge of the bridge deck will be roughly 8-9 inches of smooth concrete as well that would serve as a base frame. But
Well, with that said, I think probably that 4 inches is a good idea. And 4 inches is not a lot, but as a part of the whole 42 inches, it becomes significant. Each 4-inch band takes away from the design element.
Yeah, Lynn, I think that may not be as much of a problem because if you think about it, really because of the pattern that we picked, you're going to get an impression. And that impression is going to be, you're going to get about a 1 or 2 second eyeball contact on that thing as you go underneath the bridge. So that's going to leave you even if you had the extra inches, I think the impression's gonna be more or less the same, maybe a little bit more accentuated if you didn't have the liners up on top. But I think that you're gonna look at that and get an impression pretty quickly of what that pattern looks like. It's not something that you're gonna study because of the nature of the pattern. It's one of those
Right.
things.
It's
one of those
just sort of a
things, yeah.
trim, like a
Exactly.
trim element.
Exactly, right, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that it could be mountains or trees.
I did too.
Yeah.
Then I said, no, I'm not gonna say that.
You're gonna have the people to see the tree and the other half.
Which works both ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, right.
Mark, just to clarify what you said, we're seeing the 32-inch or so pattern with 4 inches of smooth concrete on top, 4 inches of smooth concrete on bottom. Did you say there's another 8 inches of smooth concrete that's not
Yes,
showing on
the
that
edge
image?
of the, what is the edge of the concrete bridge deck
On the
itself.
deck itself, yeah.
And we can't put anything over that. We have to be on top of it.
Right.
So it won't quite look that nice because there will be another 8 inches of concrete down below.
But that's the bridge bed that's showing in the stipple, and I see the arrowhead is not in the right place, but we can change that. But the stipple part, the concrete,
Okay.
area.
Yeah, well, it's more than 8 inches, but it's all right.
I think I had it to be determined because I had no idea how deep it would be.
Could be somewhere 8 to 10. I haven't.
Well, that's way more. That's showing way more. I can change that too just for
Yeah, I just wanna
accuracy.
clarify what we'll actually
Yeah.
end up with compared to that.
There's a level 2 and there's time to talk about this and, but stain is another consideration to that for definition. That
That's
can be
true.
considered.
So we could have like a darker stain in the background to
Yeah.
make this pop out more.
Make every other one green and then it'll be tree, mountain.
And you can stain the edge of the bridge deck different colors, so it's still a line, but it's not kind of part of that same 4-inch line.
Yeah, because of the
Separate.
differentiation, I think look prettier. Okay.
Okay, so we are progressing on that and hopefully have something more definitive to send to the formliner vendors by, I'm hoping by the end of the week, but we shall see.
So if we do get a price that's under that 129
Yeah.
price and go with it,
And we
then can we patent this to later sell and pay for some of these other improvements?
Okay. So, going on to new business. Okay, we have the resolution which I've sent out to, the committee members. And it has been reviewed by NCDOT and, they have made a couple of, comments which, were incorporated into the resolution. And it, has all of the recommendations we've talked about. So, without further ado, I'm going to call for a, motion to approve the resolution.
So we will keep.
Okay. And, any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to say this is so minor, but where it says, I'll have it in front of me about, using the planters to replicate what's on the bridge. That'll be down the road.
Yeah.
And that'll be the city
Right.
doing that, but obviously, I think the ones on the bridge are gonna be relatively small for
Mhm.
that area. They might look a little bit trite, so they'd have to be, I'm thinking, larger to really show up, but I don't think that's important right now. I just wanted to make that
Yeah.
comment.
I think replicate can be taken in a broad sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the
That we want to replicate the idea.
style.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any final design for planters on the bridge yet, or is that gonna be later?
It's the size that we have at this point that
Rough dimensions and some concepts that we're able to
They have to be movable, as I recall, because of the SHPO's requirements. They can't be a permanent feature on the north bridge anyway. Is that
There's
right?
nothing on the north bridge. There's no planters on
There
the
are no
north bridge.
planters
Just
on the
a
north
piece of
bridge?
kind, a piece of asphalt or whatever it is.
For some
And
reason,
then
they
there's
had to be.
J,
movable.
there's a Jersey barrier between that and the road. That's all that's on the north right now that I've seen. And the image on the aesthetics.
Maybe you spec a material, but my guess is it's either gonna be straight concrete or we're gonna run rock type, either you see.
On the north side,
Like an exposed
Yeah,
aggregate.
expose that, yeah, so.
on the north side or on the south.
Both sides.
I think there's nothing permanently attached, so it's wherever you want to put those removable planters.
Yeah.
Wherever you put them, you're eating into the pedestrian space. So they can go on either side.
Okay, I've never, there's no drawings or renderings showing planters on the north side. On that shows gorgeous planters in between the road and the MUP, but that's not the way it's gonna end up, as I understand it.
Can you pull up keep working on it?
That's gorgeous, but that's not what we're gonna get, right?
Let's see.
Just can we hold that up? That shows gorgeous planters in between the MUP and the road. That ain't what's gonna happen.
This is what's spec'd as far as size from what the committee approved prior to procurement. But those are again, to be provided after the fact and to be.
And those are sitting
Yeah.
somewhere scattered in 10-foot side, not in the 4-foot or 4-foot.
Sure, if you go scroll, there's a visualization of Patton in that document. More, you can get to it.
I am correct. It doesn't look like that, but what Jessica's holding, it's not gonna look like that at all.
May not load. See, that's the north side, so they're shown there in that one, and they're movable. It's just whether you put them there or not.
It's the north side.
Yeah, north side, right.
And the,
Well, no, I'm south. I'm sorry, I'm upside down.
Yes, you are. Okay, thank
That's
you.
that's the south side, but they can go either. The locations are not defined.
Right. It's just those, you can put those
It is, you
wherever we
want to put-
decide to put them.
Correct,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
either
It just
bridge.
doesn't look like that, right? Everybody agrees? I'm talking Jessica's
Well,
document.
well,
Doesn't look like that. Those are in between the MUP and the road. Right? Maybe I'm confusing.
Yeah, what he's saying is that
This
they're,
is a
they're up
gorgeous bunch of
against-
planters between the MUP and the road. That's not what we're getting. We're getting these little planters that are gonna go on the 10-foot side. And here's the 4-foot one way and the 4-foot the other way. And I'm not sure what this is. Is that a Jersey barrier?
Yes,
Okay,
I mean, it's concrete.
actually, David,
not sure.
the planters are part of the landscape design. And so, the details of that are yet to be worked out. And they will be, the landscape design is going to be undertaken by the city in cooperation with, NCDOT's, landscape
well,
section.
it may all be true, but I'll bet you $100 this is what we're gonna end up with, however many we want there on the 10-foot.
Is the
it-
comment that let's say you want them in between the bike lanes and the barrier, that's just the striping. Which, can you scroll to the width of the planter? I know you were there a second ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see what he's saying, like these are shown as though they're up against the barrier or are the barrier.
30
And it
So
looks like,
they're 30 inches wide and that's a 4-foot space. So
Mhm.
they can go there,
Yeah.
they're movable, you could put them.
this also looks like the light pole is coming up from the planter, or is it coming up from the barrier?
The light poles will come up from the barrier,
Okay,
similar
Which
to
is this detail.
that's in the.
okay.
So that's the Jersey barrier that I was referring. That this is between the 2 4-foot bicycle lanes and the road.
Correct. And that's the piece that where the light pole will be mounted,
Yeah.
that's showing a detail of that widened section for the light pole.
What's the total width of that, that mark?
It's not really a Jersey
Where the light
barrier, it's
pole is.
prettier than a Jersey barrier.
Or I guess the depth of it?
Is the flat side and is the
Yeah,
flat
flat
side
side's
towards,
into pedestrian traffic.
so we can move planters?
Yeah, you can
to
put
it.
stuff up against it and then the
Mhm.
space there in the buffer, I guess, for the bike lane is wider than the spec planner that you, so they'll fit in there.
Right, okay.
You won't
I guess, Micah, this is really just
Yeah.
showing added 14
Yeah.
inches.
Yeah.
When I look at it, it gets added where the light pole is to the standard barrier. That barrier is
Somebody's got
that
water.
1'6", I believe.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Single face barrier.
Okay.
1'6".
Okay.
The reason I asked that is
Links and
that from a
Yeah.
pedestrian and bicyclist safety standpoint, it would be much better, and that's what David was alluding to have the trees on the street side, on the traffic side of the MVP. That's
The way it's
proven,
shown.
that's proven 100 times over for pedestrian and bike safety. If you have trees as that visual line and that vertical line between automotive traffic and bike traffic, it's much safer. So I wonder if there's a way, and again, I don't know that we can do anything today in memorializing it, but if there's a way to say it at least in the language that would be preferred. And I realize that they're not permanent, but is there a way to leave, I guess there's a way to leave gaps in the barrier?
Well, the design sections I've seen, there is indeed 4 feet between the edge of the road and the interior of one of the bike paths.
But you have the Jersey barrier occupying at least 18 inches up to
Yeah.
3 feet of that. And so that's where you lose the space that you would.
The four
It's
feet
from the back.
from the
It's
back
from the
side of the
back, okay.
barrier. So like this, that
Well,
detail we
that's-
were looking at is kind of detail in this. Well, you can't see it there, Ray. It's nearly as good as I can. I'm sorry.
Now, in the sections with the light poles, you lose that space.
Which is fine if you just
But
put the
in
planters right
between,
there.
you would have enough room to put the planters in those.
Yeah.
I would think, I mean,
Yeah.
just again, as a community member, I would like
Right,
super,
right in there.
strongly recommend that the committee says that in the language that they really prefer the planters to be in between.
So we
automotive traffic.
will not install the planters. City will do that.
Yeah, and I guess that's my
what I
point
mean.
is that, does the language here matter at all, or is that just for down the road?
For our document, no,
Okay.
but to memorialize it for the city, that's a question for Jessica.
Yeah, it's just, the point is, you guys renderings are confusing. And nobody knows what really is gonna happen, but this clarification in the minutes will help people who are following this know that planners can go somewhere, and against the Jersey barrier is a good place to put them.
And you mentioned trees. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't mean trees.
Well, I mean, just any vertical planting basically, but I really think that could save.
Small
size.
Unfortunately, these planters are not really large enough for
It's
trees
30 inches on the
to
outside.
thrive, and I really wanted trees there. Really wanted trees.
I understand
It
completely.
was,
You lost that one in
It was
20
that one a
2014,
long time
2013.
Go with the 10 cypress. You never
a
know.
long time ago. Well, the other thing is there's no shade whatsoever, and it can be brutal, like
Oh, it's-
today, it would be brutal.
I understand completely, yeah. No, when I say trees, I just mean, yeah, plantings in general. but
Yeah.
Just food for thought.
Yeah, I don't think any of the renderings are 100% accurate to David's point. And there's iterations, and even I don't think any of the iterations are exactly 100% true to exactly what it's going to look like when you're done. Part of it is some of these elements have some flexibility in a contractual item. You've got some, I mean, to Nathan's point, you basically have between the backside of that roadway barrier and the edge of the bridge, and there's even flexibility on, I mean, right now they desire the two-way cycle track and whatever width the MVP that leaves, there's still.
Because the reality is that's just striping. So
Yeah.
And they're not in
Yeah.
the current contract anyway, are they? They're
The
in
planners?
landscape
Correct.
contract, which is,
Correct.
who knows how many years from now.
Yeah. Well, I guess that was my only question, is
Yeah.
just, is it worth memorializing for city purposes now, or knowing that, yeah, with the DOT stuff?
Well, let me address that.
Sure.
First of all, what we're talking about is pertaining to the Bowen Bridge.
Right.
And this resolution is pertaining to the new Patton Avenue
Right.
Bridge. And that said, after we have the vote, we do have a motion on the table. So after we resolve this motion, one of the committee members can certainly make a motion to, that it's the sense of the committee that the planters be located, along the Jersey barrier. And, that will get it into the minutes. The city is here, receiving that information. And it is the city, it is city staff that will control the landscape design and be making the ultimate decisions on such things as the location of the planners.
That's it.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, I will call for a vote on the resolution. Lynn?
Oh, I think we need a second.
No, it can
Oh,
second.
he did?
Yep.
No, I moved. You.
Oh, yeah,
I need the second.
okay,
A second.
okay. I took your attempt to be first as a second.
Oh,
Okay, Lynn,
yes.
Ken,
Yes.
and myself is a yes, so the motion is adopted. Okay. Does anyone want to make that motion about the planters?
Yeah, I'll move the motion. I'll move the committee, approve a statement that would recommend from the committee that the planter be moved interior to the roadway adjacent to the
Cycle
barrier.
Oh, Jersey barrier.
Jersey barrier, right, yeah. A recommendation made to the city.
I'll second it. Okay, any further discussion on that?
You know, I kind of hate to leave it, to make it so specific because I feel like the city and already there are 3 or 4 landscape architects and
Mhm.
staff and should make the decision at the time, working with the, whoever is doing the landscape
Right,
plan to pick the most advantageous position for appearance and safety and comfort
Mm-hmm.
at the time, because I'm just not totally sure that next to the Jersey barrier is going to be the best point at that time, because it may be preferable for the pedestrians to have the planters, and the cars are really, we don't care about
Right.
at all. So it's good to have that extra buffer, true, between the bicyclists and the vehicles, but I just think the city should make that decision, but to consider the most advantageous location
Mm-hmm.
for safety and comfort level of the users of the MUP.
So let me amend my
Okay.
motion to what she said.
Yeah, maybe we want to alternate them or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there could be a reason to do that.
It's a long stretch.
It
We
is.
could have benches on there too, like there could be other elements that are incorporated
Right.
to serve.
Find a way to put some larger planters with trees. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want one of those telescopes that you put quarters in. Broad River, that's a
You know
perfect,
what? That's not
it's a perfect.
bad
And think of the revenue.
Yeah, it would have to be only, I'm sure it would have to be only on the south span.
Yes.
Not anything SHPO will approve.
As long as it's a mobile,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not affixed to the bridge.
Climbing up there from my border end. Nobody's this old, but.
Okay, with that,
I saw one in Chimney Rock, huh?
Yeah.
Last week. There you go. Up on top of the rock.
with that amendment, I'll call for the vote. Lynn,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
and myself is yes. Okay, good. Thank you, Micah. And David.
Sorry about that.
Okay, next item is, further committee actions. So do we, at this point, do we need any further committee action? And,
I have one.
yeah,
I'd like to read this and I'd ask the committee to support it, please.
okay,
Whereas the I-26 Aesthetics Committee is nearing completion of the initial phase of its work, the committee wishes to recognize and thank the committee chairman, Ted Figura, and the vice chairman, Lynn Raker, for their leadership, years of leadership, effort, and commitment to the goal of ensuring that the I-26 connector is a credit to the Asheville community, and it extends its appreciation to the North Carolina Department of Transportation for its continued cooperation and assistance during the tenure of the committee.
thank you.
And I would like to amend that. To say, the initial vice chair, Ken Dirks, and subsequent vice chair. Right. Seriously, I mean, you.
Yeah.
big part of it.
Okay, okay. You want to second that?
Yes.
Okay. And, with that, amendment, and you can email me that.
Yep.
And, okay. Okay. Uh,
Thank you.
I'll, call for the vote, Lynn,
Yes.
Yes,
and yes, in reference to you too. Thank you. Okay, Jessica, Ashley, what do you see is the committee needing to do, if anything, going forward from here?
Well, you're planning to come to council
Mm-hmm.
on August 26th.
Yeah.
To do the manager's report.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I'm not sure.
I mean, so do you guys feel like pending the outcome of the custom form liner, that you will need to make a decision, a final decision on that? And that's the only outstanding thing, right?
Right, right.
Is-
And from my point of view, that the mechanism for, finalizing that decision has been approved by the committee, so,
Okay,
yeah. So we're assuming that custom form liner comes in within budget.
and if it doesn't, then you've already chosen a second. And then-
Right,
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
But with that in mind, if the custom form liner comes within our budget, could we ask the vendor to do a mock-up so we'll see what it'll look like before we? Is that,
Yeah, and we can assist with that. There's
Okay.
probably some costs, but we can probably cover it.
costs within?
Generally, if it's custom, they charge like a fee for a sample, but.
But just to, I mean,
Yeah.
show it in CAD or Photoshop.
Oh,
or
no, I
something.
thought you meant cast one.
No, I bet
'Cause that's
that's
what
a
we
good
typically
idea
do.
too, do the palette thing.
Put it in Lynn's yard.
That's what all the rejects.
We can talk about that. Well, either option we could see.
I mean, there's a mechanism to get a section cast. I know it's a smaller piece of what's gonna be larger, but like to make the ultimate decision, I'm not familiar with the custom process, but I'm sure that's something.
It's not uncommon that we can have request a supplier to cast one
Okay.
to submit for review and approval, and we can do that. And my only question is with it being custom, they have to make it
Right.
first, which may be possible, but we can.
At the very least, do a graphic
Sure. Yeah.
of it. And then, is that on, I was gonna bring up a totally different subject, so go
no, I
ahead.
was just gonna ask as a point of order, does the previous approval that we approved as a committee, does that cover what we just talked about, or do we need a separate motion to basically finalize the approval of this pattern we just looked at, subject to it coming in at that cost?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think what we,
Satisfied with
yeah.
that,
My question was, has there been any movement with the other group that's working on the alternative alignment?
Meeting tomorrow,
We're
right?
meeting tomorrow. We have put to the team over the past month or so, I guess, since we met last, several different ideas that they're evaluating. As well as going and pulling back some things that they did earlier on procurement. I have not seen personally what they prepared, but they're coming tomorrow to present that and have further conversation with the group. So that's tomorrow afternoon.
Where's that gonna be?
Is that open to the public or?
Here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not.
That's probably downstairs, but not completely. It's not like this style meeting. We're recording directly with the,
It had been for invitation only, I think.
yeah,
Okay.
so I'm gonna leave that up to the group there.
I will be there, so if you guys want me to report anything back, I'm happy to.
okay, thanks.
I think we'd just be interested to see what.
Right.
come up with. That's all.
I'll be there too. I'm gonna attend tomorrow.
I think Lana wants to be your plus one.
Sounds good.
It's just fine with me. I
Let's do it.
don't wanna, you know.
I'm not heading it up. Wendy is, Wendy Ledgerton, so I don't know how she's structured attendance and how many people are gonna be in the room.
But that's been our coordination, and from there, Wendy has dispersed us.
What time is the meeting?
Is it one?
One?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Okay, we'll look forward to
See what happens.
hearing what transpires there. Okay, so, it sounds like, we, you know, assuming we do get either a rendering or a cast of the custom, that, we should probably just briefly get together to look at that and, give maybe a final check off on it. Make sure that there's nothing untoward that would dissuade us from going with that.
Mhm. I think logistically, all we have to do is notice the meeting as a special meeting, which is 7 days ahead of time, but that's the only logistical thing we have to do.
Okay. So the manager's report, on the 26th, what's exactly going to happen there? Is that going to be staff led?
So, I mean, it could be, there's no rules, but generally the first thing after the council does the consent agenda. Well, there's proclamations,
Yeah.
then consent agenda, and then there's manager's report, which is just a section where there can be an outside presentation like Nathan's done one before. It could be an internal presentation. And I mean, I would recommend that it be you,
Okay.
as the chair.
Mhm.
And then I think they try to, I can't remember if they have a time limit on them or not.
I think they do. It's either 10 or 15 minutes, but you can bring a slide deck and they'll put it up on the screen. You don't have to use that overhead projector thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically the clerk, Maggie, likes to have any presentations the day before. So like that Monday morning. And that way she'll preload it onto the computer that, then she'll help bring it up in the moment in the council meeting.
But there's no Q&A. It's just you do your presentation and then they'll say, thank you. And then that's the end.
Okay.
So
Okay.
no public comment.
Uh-huh.
They might have a question for you.
Council
Yeah.
might have questions, but there's no public comment.
Yeah.
So Ted, do we have all the graphics you think we need for this? I think you need a picture of the bridge itself.
Right, which we have. Yeah.
Okay.
And, by that time, hopefully we'll have a rendering of the, of what we've chosen. A lot of our recommendation is like basically to be determined, I don't think we need, I think we could like, I'll look and see if we have a graphic of the MUP on the Bowen Bridge that's going to be.
Yeah, we might want to have the Bowen Bridge as, to refresh their memories on what that's gonna
Yeah,
look like
right,
coming out.
right.
And then I think we need something on the lighting, so an example of what the lighting, what we're thinking about in terms of lighting underneath the bridge.
Yeah, maybe, although I think let's think about that, because that gets a bit technical and, but we do have some graphics from Greg Hall, that, how we can maybe, yeah, with the understanding that those are like very conceptual.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we just want to give them an example
Yeah,
of what
right,
it might look
right.
like, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we go through the whereases here, we might want to check and see if there are any graphics, supporting graphics that we think are particularly important for them to understand.
Yeah.
And if there's specific requests for us, just let us know.
Okay.
But we can, even if that's,
Yeah.
see if we can get Mark and Kay to create something.
Yeah, you can send those directly to me, Ted, if you will. I'll try to get on it and let's coordinate with Greg. I know we've seen several different versions of stuff. A lot of the stuff was just popped up on the screen and I don't have, but I can track down anything that y'all think you might need, especially if it's something we already have produced. I will certainly help.
Yeah, one of the things that he shared, like, it can only be opened with special
Specific program.
software. Yeah,
But you can open it and take a screenshot if nothing else. to get
Yeah,
it. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's
Oh, that's
mechanisms.
true.
We can get an image of whatever we need.
Yeah.
I thought that, for the layman's purposes, that Micah's were a lot easier to read, to see what was going on.
Yeah.
The way he showed the graphic with the bridge and the lights.
yeah,
So,
I'm happy to mock up anything if that helps.
Okay, okay.
Definitely not gonna be as accurate as, technical drawings by any means, but
right.
if it
We,
helps.
we don't need accurate technical drawings for
no,
city
we just
council,
want the
right?
little eye candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me know.
Okay, anything else?
Just as we're wrapping up here, there's a discussion, I guess, last week about continuing further. There was quite a bit of worry about handing a great many future decisions over to the city, landscape plan, public art, activating underneath the south side of the bridge, anything going on in the other 7 acres for homeless guidance. I don't know that topic, it would fall under here or not. But there is a comment that there's a lot more stuff yet headed to the committee. Is the committee going to decide to be stood up a year from now or to handle some of these? Or is this paragraph is somewhat misleading? This is the end of the aesthetics committee.
I mean, that's up to the city, whether they, want the advice, want the further advice of the aesthetics committee. We have given guidance on all those things. And, a lot of following that guidance is, gets into some, rather technical stuff and, that I think city staff is best equipped to handle. They are definitely, on the same page as we are as a committee. So, personally, I have great trust in city staff to follow through on the vision that the committee has directed.
Well, these are new things that aren't yet been discussed, that aren't in any memorial. This is
Well,
stuff coming in the future.
The committee did provide and adopted guiding principles for the landscape design, which are very thorough. And we have a public art commission, we have a design review committee, and multiple departments that are going to have to weigh in on particularly the activation of the spaces adjacent to and underneath. So, I think that not only are we well equipped to tackle all those and utilize the committee's guidance through the vertical and the horizontal guidelines or guiding principles.
So it sounds like what I'm hearing is this paragraph as written
Yeah,
is not correct.
our intention is for the committee to retire, if you will.
Yes. So this paragraph may need to be changed in the minutes. I don't know. This is what it says is opposite of what you just said. I don't know if that's an issue or not.
Which paragraph are you referring to?
Page 6.
Of
The
what?
committee anticipates handing a great deal, many future decisions over to the city. These include development of a landscape plan, planning for public art, which could include colorful lighting under the new bridge, desired uses for the land to be retained by, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The committee will have no roll. What you just said. In other words, this is the end of the committee.
Right,
Okay, so
that's what I just
this
said.
paragraph, right, so this
Okay.
paragraph should be struck from the minutes. Okay, absolute opposite of what you just said.
It is?
Yes.
I don't see
The way
that.
you read it
I think
sounded
it says
to me.
handed over. I think the intent is we are handing those decisions over now
Roll
to the city.
to the city.
Oh, handing a great, in other words, not be involved.
Right,
Yes,
Right,
what I was
right.
given. That was
Yeah,
what I was not reading in that
Right.
sentence.
and I
Okay.
think Jessica really summed it up well from our point of view too.
Okay.
Yeah, we just can't, and we're,
It's been
it
9
really was
years.
not within our purview
Yeah.
to flesh out the things that are going to change in the city's perspective to how you handle those spaces.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to make that decision in short order. It's gonna take, it's a lot of different departments that will influence that.
Exactly, and it'd also be a larger community discussion.
Yeah.
too. So, and we've got 4 or 5 years from now before that all needs to be sussed out.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that individual members of the committee as, you know, represent just normal, as people can be part of that. I mean, we may convene special task forces or committees to focus on certain elements of the future work that has to happen. It's just sort of, it's just TBD over the next
Yeah.
6, 8, 10, 12 years, however long it is.
God, I hope it's not that long.
Don't roll your eyes.
You know,
I'm trying to do a lot of
I don't want to keep us here longer, but it just reminds me, I've been in Knoxville the past few days and there's a bridge on Broadway. I don't know if you're familiar with Knoxville, but it's a big bridge with solid overhead, sort of like this Patton Bridge is gonna be. And it's where unhoused people pretty much live day and night. And there might be 400 or 500 people under that bridge at any one time, but you don't see a lot of unhoused people on street corners. But they're congregated in that one area, and I don't know if there's some sort of legal reason for that, or it's a designated space, but it's been like that for the past few years since I've been visiting my son there. So it's interesting. And Broadway is the main drag into downtown, and
Yeah.
this is very close. This is maybe 2 blocks from the main downtown. So it's
Well, we'll end up
interesting.
with that here unless we do something different.
Well, I'm just wondering if that was designated that way, because people need a place to be if they don't have homes. I mean, the obvious thing to do is to work to find homes, but that's just not the way it is always.
I dug deeply into the continuity of care
Yeah.
initiative
Right.
that came out in the big beautiful bill. The funding for that got cut. So I don't know if that's been a discussion here in the city or not.
It's ongoing, I think.
It's lost their funding with the tax bill. So I don't know how that'll happen.
Difficult,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
difficult situation.
very challenging.
Mhm.
And I think it does have a lot to do with the situation, like the every particular location's context. And
Yes, I agree.
it doesn't, I mean, we've got a lot of bridges all over the city. Some of them are kind of hot spots for that, and some of them are not at all. So, and it changes. You know, the locations shift a lot depending on enforcement. So it's a constantly moving situation.
Is there any activity on trying to address this new roof we're creating, the 7-acre roof? Or not? No, I don't think there's any active discussions about thinking about it.
What do you mean address it? Like,
Do something now rather than until 500 people are living under there.
Corn Knoxville has a sign up that says public safe space.
Okay, then it is a designated.
I'm not
space.
suggesting we create a public safe space underneath the bridge that's 1,000 feet from my house, but, I know it just
Yeah.
seems like
We-
it's something that we
we-
should all, what somebody should be worried to death about it.
Yeah,
Because we're just
we
creating
have,
this thing.
we have like, we definitely thought about that. We like, I think the recommendation to fill the space between the MUP and the vertical wall.
I think the activation topic was discussed and
Yeah,
that will continue going on. I'm worried about the other 6 acres to the
Oh,
north.
yeah.
And that there doesn't seem to be anyone. I mean, the CLC is a fabulous thing. Funding just got cut.
Yeah,
Malik Bell, I
yeah.
assume, still has her
I
job.
think
That comes under the purview
Right.
of the city's planning for the activation
Yeah.
and use of that acreage. So,
Yeah, I kind of see it as being rolled together into the same conversation, like addressing under the bridge on, on Patton and to the north as being like maybe one large conversation.
I would suggest that the activation to the south, that we have talked about in the committee, is a heck of a lot easier to accomplish than 6 acres of topography that goes like this with a creek.
Right.
My God, I can't imagine.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
They're
And
two
there's
separate
there's only gonna
conversations.
be, I mean, we can't answer all of those questions
No,
today
I'm just-
or in just transportation, I think,
It's nothing for Archer Wright to do.
right,
It will be there in 6 years.
right.
It's just that, wouldn't it be bad if we did nothing for 6 years and you got 500 people living under there?
Yeah, I don't think that's definitely not our plan. The
Okay,
plan
good.
is to roll into the next phase, which would be starting conversations about activating the space. I mean, with or without the bridge being under or over Patton, we still have a similar situation. We were gonna have to figure out what to do
Mhm.
on the north side underneath the various flyovers.
And a lot of river link cleanups. And it's always under the bridges. That's where it is.
I think as Jessica said, it's part of the conversation, but a thing to note, the Smith Mill Creek Greenway is in that area too, so there is some plan already.
Mhm.
Right.
For at least that area, I think it all kind of gets lumped together.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard about that. Great one.
okay, if nothing else, we are adjourned at 4:10. And I thank everybody for their participation and all the good advice and all the hard work and much appreciated. And we'll hopefully see everybody on the 26th.
I will not be here.
You will not be here, okay?
Historically, when did this committee start?
The fall of 2018.
And the design center was going long before that, right?
Right, yeah.
Long,
It's probably got a long tail.
Yeah,
it ain't done yet.
And we kind of inherited the alignment or the basic alignment.
From design center.
Right.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Although we made some significant positive changes.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.